Okay, everyone, so this is part 2 of the new moon, the first of 2 new moons in Leo on July 23rd. And if you haven't watched the first video, check my channel and you'll see that one. It's mostly astrological information, plus I picked a few tarot cards. So I'm going to pick some oracle cards. I'm going to start with the Law of Attraction card. I'm going to pick one. And this deck basically just contains affirmations, so we'll have an affirmation for this new moon in Leo and see if anything synchronistic comes up. It says, no doubt. I will eventually achieve success because I don't allow myself to doubt. Put that on top there. And so I'm going to pick a card from the Ascended Masters deck. I'll pick, I don't know how many cards to pick. Now I have so many decks. It's always a, well, this one is the Energy Oracle cards. Sandra and Taylor. I'll pick one of them. New moon in Leo, 0 degrees. Action. That's funny because it almost kind of jumped out at me. Number 17. Interesting. And this, you know, I told you there's conjunctions with the sun and moon to Mars, so it is a time of action. But I'll read what it says when I get around to that. And I'm going to pick 2 more cards. I'll pick an Ascended Masters card. Flow of Prosperity, Lakshmi. I like that. Okay. And one more. Because I got a lot to read. I think I'm going to pick from the Earth Magic deck. Karma. DNA was what I got. Interesting. All right. I'm going to start with that Karma card, because I find that very intriguing. And DNA. I'm still getting used to this book, actually, or these decks. Karma, a concept in many Eastern religions, is a Sanskrit word implying the greater universal laws of cause and effect, providing an implied code of ethics within the structure of the seemingly endless cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, which we experience throughout our lives in many different versions. The mistaken notion about karma is that it's some kind of punishment, but it's far from that. In fact, in its purest form, it simply asserts that our conduct in this lifetime will determine our next incarnation. It has also come to mean how our behavior and actions in this lifetime create consequences in a slightly different version of the golden rule. We not only carry our soul's karma into this lifetime, but also embedded in the complex coding of our DNA is our genetic ancestral karma. The double helix structure of DNA contains codes that have been passed down from our parents and grandparents, as well as our ancestors. Therefore, we have some of the same genetic information that comes from the DNA of very early humans. In this card, we see two intertwined serpents with double helixes on either side. So I should have been keeping this. Variations of this archetypal image exist in many cultures, both traditional and contemporary. It's a graphic representation of the most ancient ancestry we can lay claim to, our DNA, the fundamental substance of life itself that provides substantial determination of our life path. Wow. And then I'll just read the commentary. Aspects of your soul entered your primitive physical self long before you had begun to take form. While the DNA that you inherited from your biological parents has a physical component, it also has a soul pattern that came together in the creation of you. You are predisposed to follow the karmic dictates of this patterning to some extent, yet as you evolve in your consciousness and expand the light of awareness, you can make choices that shift and modify this ancestral design. This is one of those times you can feel the tug of your soul that is both ancient and karmic, yet you also recognize the persistent and loving communication from your higher self that contradicts the more familiar solutions before you. The choice is up to you, but know that every time you heed the guidance of your higher self, no matter what etheric or physical form it takes, human consciousness is elevated. In a sense, it becomes a choice between destiny and fate. And, you know, I really do believe that we have more choice than we think. And even with matters of health, a lot of times people say, oh, well, you know, this is hereditary and stuff like that. And they really just like say, oh, well, it's hereditary, so therefore I'm just going to go on about my merry way. And really, we are called to act, take right action at every moment, and not blame DNA for non-action when we should act, and for action when we shouldn't act. Sometimes we have to be passive as well. So karma, they didn't say that, but the word karma, I believe, means action. So people say good karma, bad karma, but actually any kind of action creates karma. And you might say, yeah, but if I have good karma, that'll be really cool because then I'll be rich in my next lifetime. And yet, samsara is what they talk about, where you keep reincarnating on the physical plane. And it's kind of like 6 of one, half dozen the other. You're living in a mansion, but what if you think of this world as hell? Then it becomes living in hell, you know, living large in hell. So it seems like kind of it isn't necessarily all that great, you know. And yet people, we are here for a reason. So I'm not saying that this world is hell, but it certainly has a wild range of experiences that people experience. And so in any case, that I found that very interesting. But I'm going to go back to this energy oracle deck, and that number 17 really pops out at me. I like that number quite a bit. Action. Just like and I just said, karma is action. Let's see what this says. Energizing effort, willingness to work. This card tells you that now is the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concerted action directed to your goals. This card upright indicates that you are on the right track, but your determined efforts must increase. The white horse is inner action of spirit and thought. The black is the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. in time, you'll break through and see the results you've been working so hard to create. And I said, you never know. You could see that sooner than later because of the solar eclipse in the same sign at one of the later degrees. You know, it could be just that 1-2 punch and almost, not exactly, in an instant manifestation. So that's very exciting. But first you have to take action, obviously. Okay, and then this card I love very much because this is the flow of prosperity. Let me get out this booklet. What did I do? Oh, I think I had the booklet somewhere here. Okay, here it is. This is Doreen Virtue's deck, and we're talking about Lakshmi. Okay, flow of prosperity. Lakshmi. This card indicates that your prayers about finances have been heard and answered. Tap into your manifestation power by focusing on abundance instead of worrying about money. You have nothing to fear. A new flow of prosperity is supporting you and your loved ones. Additional messages for this card. Stop worrying about money. Worries only attract money problems. Everything's going to be okay, especially with respect to finances. You have the support to make a desired life change right now. Visualize and affirm prosperity. Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of prosperity who helps us overcome financial fears and tap into the river of abundance that's available to everyone. It's helpful to put a statue or painting of Lakshmi in the financial corner. According to Feng Shui principles, this is the left rear corner of your home or office as you stand looking inward from the front door. Call upon Lakshmi to help transmute money worries into financial flow. And so it is. I love that one. And, you know, with Leo, with all fire signs, there's this sense of abundance. With the fire element, you're talking about creativity. And fire signs tend to be generous. And the generosity is coming from a belief that there is limitless supply. And so embody that at the time of this Leo new moon. It's at 0 degrees, pure potential. And so I believe anything is possible. I hope you enjoyed this, you guys. Take care. Bye.